my wife probably is the best thing to ever happen to me in my life, to be where I am today.
The world is chaotic enough.
Right.
Home is where you can unwind.
When they say the American dream is buying a home, no, American dream is having a healthy and successful marriage.
I agree. Yeah.
And having
family.
Family. You know, if you don't have family, you don't have anything.
And we are good.
All right. I'm excited to be here.
Larry Bailey.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Thanks for joining me.
Hey, I'm excited, man. This looks great.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Hey, I appreciate you, man. I'm so proud of you. I don't say it enough, but I'm very proud of you. This is taking that leap and that journey, and I think that's a blessing.
Thanks, man. Yeah, that's good to hear because it's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary, man. You know, like just going into something that I have no experience in.
Right.
And just committing to it from the jump is, well, yeah, it's a leap.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be a reason we don't call it faith. Sometimes you got to lean back a little bit and jump out there. So yeah. I think you're going to do incredibly well. So I'm extremely excited.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
So what do you got going on?
Oh, man. Life.
Yeah.
Man.
You look great, man. You really look great. You've been hitting the gym, huh?
Yeah, I have. I'm literally down 45 pounds.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
I feel great. Got a lot more energy.
Yeah.
I had to wake myself up a little bit. I started getting around at 2:30 and I said, whoa, you know, this is too much. But, you know, father of two, well, now 3, and a husband and a working man and businessman, and you know, it's a lot going on. So
yeah, I love it. I'm always so fascinated by different people's triggers. You know, because some people, you know, I always wonder when people get to a certain weight, you know, and I think to myself all the time, probably too judgmentally, but you know, when you see someone that's like very, very overweight, you're like,
right.
Don't you hit a certain point
where you're unhappy
where
with
you think like, man, I really got to do something about this. Yeah. And I understand that it creeps up on people a lot of times, you know, before you know it, you're like enormous. I don't think you ever got to the point of like, Larry, but maybe for yourself,
for
in
myself,
the mirror, you know, you're like, okay, I need to do something about this. But it's funny how everyone's got a different limit.
Right. And I think for me, it was, man, I couldn't regulate my blood pressure.
Oh,
it wasn't that I was like chunky. I was big, but it was kind of like high blood pressure. I'm African American on top of it. You know, it's pretty common that a lot of African Americans, males in the black community, we don't really go to the doctor. You know, I've been trying to get my dad to go for like, I don't know, 10, 12 years. He still hasn't went or had a colonoscopy, and he's almost 60. Oh, and yeah, I know, which is scary. Late, right? It's never too late to get it.
No, but you're supposed to get it like 50s.
Oh, they dropped it, man.
Oh, what is it now?
It's 40.
40?
40. Oh, no. We're getting close. Oh, no. Yeah.
I'm not ready.
Hey, it's okay. It's almost like you got to get yourself checked. But I had this migraine that wouldn't go away. And was talking to my wife, and I'm like, hey, listen, something's wrong. I don't know what's going on, but something's wrong. And she was like, what do you mean? I was like, I need to check my blood pressure. And it was high.
How high?
I think I was reading around 190 over 93.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah, concerning.
Very concerning. So, you know, I'm like, okay, let me go get checked out. And the doctor's like, yeah, we need to start looking at you either working out or we're going to put you on some medicine. And I'm not a fan of medication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I avoid it as much as I can. You know, I mean, look, if I need like an antiviral for something, whatever, like fine. But like if I have a headache, I'm not taking Advil for that.
Let me get a little rest and wake up and be perfectly fine.
Let me drink some water.
Yeah.
Yep. Get some sleep.
You guys were at our wedding, so that was the heaviest I've been. And although the photos turned out wonderful, deep inside, it was kind of hard to sit and be in a size up. I was a size 38.
Oh, wow.
Right.
You didn't look it.
No, I didn't. I wore it well.
Yeah.
You guys, well, my friends, including you guys, I have that business suit body, you know? Okay. So when I start, I can hide it really well, but it's kind of like, all right, dude, you know, you're going up to the 38. There's not a lot of options up here. You're going to have to bring it back down, you know? The suits weren't fitting. And so I ended up, you know, rededicating my life completely, man. I did a full turnaround.
That's awesome.
we, for our marriage, when we got married, we said we're going to strengthen our faith within Christ. So we focus a lot on our faith and our beliefs and our religion, and we don't push it on anyone. We do our own thing, and it works for our family. And Isaiah is coming around and he loves going, man. It's
really,
yes.
That's
and
great.
He sent me a message yesterday and was like, "Hey Dad, I love you so much. And I know God loves us, but I love you." And I said, "I love you too, buddy." He said, "I can't be God's love though." I said, "That's okay. That's all right. God loves all of us." So
hey man, that's some understanding though.
Right.
That's
he's learning. He's learning. So so we rededicated everything, man. And
that's good.
And I said, I'm gonna start working out. But as a father, a busy father, you don't really get a lot of time to yourself.
Yep.
How often are you free?
I thought I'd be more free now that I quit my job.
Right.
I'm more busy now than I was with a full-time job.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, and it's trying to find time for yourself in the midst of all of that, but yet still be a father and a husband and be present and, want your business to succeed. And for me, I was like, I only can do that. I'm an early bird. I'm not a late person. You will never catch me out at midnight. I mean, that's just not me, but you will see me up at 4 a.m. I'm a morning person.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
We joke about it all the time now because we used to be night owls.
Yeah.
And now if I'm in bed at 9 p.m., I'm happy as all hell. Like if I have to be up after that, I'm like, hey, hang on a second.
Exactly.
If it's for a good reason, I'll do it. Right. If we're celebrating something, we're going out with some friends, whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, no problem. I'm still getting up at 5:30.
Absolutely.
Or 6 o'clock or
Absolutely.
so, whatever. I might slip in a little bit if it's a long night, but I really try to commit to that. No matter what happens the night before, I'm getting up early in the morning as much as I can. And that's helped, I think.
Yeah.
Just at least to set like my internal clock.
Yeah. I mean, and it's better to get up earlier than it is to stay up later, So
I agree.
Me, my time. It's 4 a.m., man. That's my time.
Nice.
4 to 6. I get 2 wonderful hours.
You're on that Jocko Willink
I am, man.
schedule.
And you know what's crazy? I try to sleep in. And like my internal clock's like, yeah, right, man. Get up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I got to get up.
You wake up before your alarm now, right?
Yeah. Before it goes up.
Yep.
Even so much so the dog even knows, like she sleeps on her little doggy bed next to the bed, and I get up at 4. She's like, all right, that's my time. She gets up in the bed and she takes my spot. Nice and warm and cozy.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I get up at 4, man, Monday through Friday.
Nice. What about the weekends?
No, weekends I take off because, that's our time. There's no schedule. Well, there is a schedule, but not as intense as it is during the week. So,
but does your body just naturally still get up?
It does.
Pretty early, right?
It does. You'll find me trying to do stuff around the house till my wife wakes up, and she's pregnant right now. So, as you know, that's a journey within itself, and the things women put their bodies through. Oh my,
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God made women strong, man. Man. They are built. I'm
telling you, after seeing Christine go through what she went through.
Yeah.
With her first pregnancy, I swear I married an assassin. Like she's like a KGB agent or something, because like they were showing, they hook her up the machine. They showed like the contractions and everything. And the midwife was there and she's like, oh, you're having a contraction right now.
And she was unbothered.
It's a pretty big one too. And she's like, really?
She was totally unbothered.
And I'm looking at her like, nothing? You feel nothing? She's like, no, I'm fine. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I'm staring at this thing and I'm looking at these needles just jumping like crazy. I'm like, you don't feel that either?
Right.
She's like, nothing. I was like, all right, I got to be careful what I say around the house.
Right.
She's going to whoop my ass.
So you can't say too much, can't say too little. And listen, I understand it, man. I mean, for us, we lost 2, which is, very difficult because my wife has never had kids. So one of the things we always wanted was a child of our own. And so we've been working at it for the last 3 years. And for her to miscarry for the first 2 was very hard. But we have some great friends who have lifted us up through the process. But the things women go through in the hospital and, having to go through that, twice. And so we are holding on now. And we're in a good stage now. So we're in viability. Yeah, we're in viability. So yes. We are blessed. Thank the Lord. And
man, you guys deserve it, man. I mean, it's crazy how life can just throw the biggest curveballs at you.
Right.
And you don't have any other option but to just keep going.
Correct. You can't give up.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, you can't give
you
up.
have 2 other kids,
Right.
You know, your wife
right.
needs you more than anything,
Right.
What? Do you,
And you're trying to figure out. Sometimes it's tough because as husbands we get in this navigation where we have to make sure everything is under control. So when things are not in control, not controlling, but in control, because those are 2 different things.
Oh yeah.
But in control, we struggle a little bit. So for me, it was, how do I still be present and there for my children while still being there for my wife, who is going through postpartum still and depression and isn't able to carry right now, you know? So it was an emotional toll. And I praise God and thank God that I do have a great support system of friends and family. I mean, it's amazing. My family come through and show up even when you tell them not to. Same with our friends. Y'all cooked us wonderful food. By the way, you're the best cook in town. So thank you for that. You know, we look forward to it.
I'm at least number 3. My mom and dad are way better than me.
I haven't had theirs yet. So you're the best that we got so far. So we always enjoy that. But yeah, navigating life and, you know, being in this world of finance that I'm in and, you know, and fatherhood and sports and travel baseball.
Yeah,
jeez. Right, man. Just when we think, and we're buying a new house.
Are you really?
Yes.
Oh, good. Congratulations.
So
I just want let me just back up a little bit. Because you brought up a great point in, you know, as fathers and husbands, you know, having to be that rock, you know,
right.
And that stoic, you know, that really that rock. Right. And I noticed that you kind of fell into a very stereotypical thing that we all do, that you mentioned. We have to still be there and be a father. We have to support our wives and everything through all that tragedy that you had to go through. And one thing that you didn't even mention is taking time for your sanity and your mental health and everything else. It's funny how I'm sure you had to navigate that one way or another, but it still doesn't even come to mind because I feel like we're all just kind of stuck in that, oh, I have to be that mountain.
Right.
You know, that
I got to be that rock. Like you just said, I got to be strong. And not that I'm not allowed to break. It's not my time.
Right.
You know? You know, so I may get mine in a shower for 5 minutes, a little, you know, let me get my mind together. But when I step out, it's almost like I'm Terminator, man. I got to be able to lift the family up.
So that's what I wanted to ask you. Going through what you went through.
Yeah.
What are some things that you did for yourself, you know, to process it and to, you know, go through the sadness and then the acceptance and the moving forward and everything. How did you deal with that?
I relied on and I keep going back to it, man. My religion is crazy.
If that's what works.
Yeah, it works for me. Cause I wasn't on this binge of health just yet, you know? So during this time, I'm sure it was probably ridiculous. Probably could have had a stroke. The levels I probably was carrying, but it was me praying, man. Prayer is my biggest thing. We pray every night before bed. I pray in the car. I pray on my way to work. I pray when I got 5 minutes. Faith is what I lean on. Christ is what I lean on. And I don't know how I would have made it through some of these things without him, because sometimes you go, wow, you know, I asked God for strength. Give me strength. And then he gave me some huge challenges to overcome. But what did that build? It builds strength. You right. You know what I'm saying? So I had to lean on those. And now you got to be careful what you ask God for, because he'll give it to you in ways you don't expect.
Right.
But you come out on top stronger. So for me, it was literally rededicating ourselves to the church and leaning heavy on my spiritual advisors and my pastors. Without them, I don't know. And then having good friends to be able to just talk it out when I'm, you know, we get that moment where we're a little aggravated. You don't want it to go any further. You just want to get it out.
Sure.
So we all been there when you have to say, okay, listen, man, I'm struggling. I don't know what else am I supposed to do, you know? But just having someone who won't judge you, but kind of, hey, I know you guys are going through a lot right now. It's all right to feel that way. You have every right to feel how you feel. So having good friends and a good faith foundation gets me through everything. So
that's awesome.
It helped me get to where we're at today, to be able to celebrate and say 7 months is tomorrow. So,
oh man, that's great.
I'm excited, man.
And that's something that you and Serena obviously share very closely, right? I mean, you're both.
Oh, yes. If I would say anything, my wife is my spiritual warrior. I mean, she goes to battle with me. I mean, we hit these roadblocks sometimes with life. And I have to say, okay, I'm gonna need you to lay hands on me really quick. Pray with me. You know, even if we get a little mad at each other. And the crazy thing is, my wife and I don't we're not like aggressive arguers. Mm-hmm. Like, we're like, okay, I'm bothered. I'm going to articulate this in a way. And the funny thing is I can say it 18 ways. She'll be like, I still don't understand. I mean, I'm only coming from my point. But then I have to say, okay, is it worth the marriage? Is it worth the relationship? 9 out of 10. A 10 out of 10? It's not.
Yeah, I was going to say
it's
10 out of 10.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 every time. And we have to go, okay, once we both get through, well, you ready to pray? Yeah, I am. All right, God, we're asking for strength. We're asking for courage. God, we ask that you lay hands and strengthen this marriage. You built us on a steady foundation. I mean, we speak it out in our house. You know, we are covered by the blood of Jesus, like we know. And so when we get to going, it could be a little longer for folks who ain't used to it, but it works for us. And that's what we do when one of us is struggling, watching her go through it. And that's why I say a woman is a tough. We're tough as men, I think, like, we're not emotional, and we probably should be more emotional. But like for women are emotional. They're strong. They are warriors. They put on their armor. Like, my wife probably is the best thing to ever happen to me in my life, to be where I am today and me to look back. And then she has like these requirements, right?
Okay.
And so when I met her, I remember our first date and we were sitting there and she was like, so what is your plans? Do you want to ever have kids again? You already have kids. I'm like, whoa, we ain't even got to the appetizer yet. You know?
Good.
But she set that level of expectation because she's like, this is where I see my life. And if this isn't it, hey, hit the road, Jack, you know?
Yeah.
So I couldn't
not
do
getting
that.
any younger.
Right.
So you might as well,
but
aim for what you're actually trying to
accomplish.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, man, I've never had a woman challenge me this way, you know? I kind of like it, you know? Okay, this is my goals and this is what I want to accomplish. And this is, okay, it aligns with us.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a beautiful thing. I share the same experience in that sense with Christine.
Yeah.
You know, I was also married before.
Right.
And my previous wives they didn't really challenge me or push me the way that Christine does. And I don't mean in an overbearing way.
No,
I know sometimes,
like supportive.
Yes. Like I know a lot of times it comes off as like, oh, you mean she's bossy, or she's just like, and honestly, she's probably less bossy than my past relationships.
Right.
But she holds me to a higher standard.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
In that sense. And I do the same for her.
Right.
And
it works.
Same as for you. If it wasn't for Christine, I wouldn't be where I am now.
Right.
Not a chance in hell.
But isn't it crazy how you look back and you say, you know, as I was married prior to, and definitely got married for the wrong reasons, to the wrong person, doesn't mean she's a bad person, just to the wrong person that wasn't for me. And so what I would tell people, I'm like, always, you know, when you're talking marriage as men, it's not a smart idea to get married young because we think we know what we want. We have no clue.
No idea.
No clue. So and I don't do marriage comparisons. I won't ever do that. But I would say that in my previous marriage, it was a battle. We both had our own little roads and our own destinations and we even had our own group of friends.
That's
you guys have been friends with me a long time. So even when she wasn't there, and you guys even noticed that.
Right.
So
yeah,
it was a lot. So what you saw didn't compare to what I was going on in my household, man. It was disruption. Oh, it was disruption, man. Bad.
Right.
So much so I had to take a moment and say, okay, this is affecting my kids. Mm-hmm. Oh, this isn't healthy.
And I feel like one of the most important parts of what makes a good marriage or a good home really is that your home is where you need to find your peace.
Peace. If you can't have peace at home.
It's the most important part, I think. You know, the world is chaotic enough.
Right.
Home is where you can unwind And if you come home and you have nothing but chaos, and whether it's a nagging wife or just problems or anything, just
or someone that doesn't see your vision. I mean, you got to see their vision. They see your vision. You guys got to meet in the middle, right? Because even for you to start this business, you know, you had to talk to your wife first. You can't just make a decision. And we say that, yes, men are the head of our households, but our wives, we may be the head, they're the neck, right? So in order for us to turn, we're going to need them. So before you make this jump, you had to have a really depth conversation. And that brings me for you. I know, I commend you and Christine. You guys are marriage goals, man. I mean, and I say that in a way of the way you guys love each other. You guys put each other first, man. A lot of marriages don't do that. You know, I learned that with my wife. I got married. Listen, I got kids. I love my kids.
Yeah.
But my wife is like got to be my best friend, and I got to make sure we communicate effectively. Yeah. But the way you guys do and y'all have grown as a unit and as a family is truly phenomenal.
Thank you.
You don't see it every day. You guys, when they say the American dream is buying a home, no, American dream is having a healthy and successful marriage.
I agree. Yeah.
And having
family.
Family. You know, if you don't have family, you don't have anything. So that's tough. So I look back and I go, you know, looking at you guys, even Serena was like, I love being around them. I'm like, I know. It's like, it just rubs off on you. You know, it's just that natural, I'm going to support you. I got you.
Yep.
And so I said, you know, these are things we took into our marriage. And, you know, my wife is, like I said, my best friend, man. And I lean on her heavy. Listen, faith, when I'm feeling down, when I am struggling to figure out a path or a direction, she helps clarify it so I can make it. When it comes to finance, she is a finance beast. I thought I was like OCD. You ain't met Serena Bailey. I mean, she is. Before she makes a decision, she goes through it with a fine tooth comb. I just look at it for an overview, you know. But even for us to do our finances, to be in these positions that we are in, and we both work in finance, so to be in these positions that we are in, it works if you got somebody that can match the same level of energy that you were producing or expect. And you don't ever want to drop your standard to accommodate somebody else's comfortability, right? You want to be able to be yourself and still hold it to the same tool.
Absolutely.
And so she does that wonderfully, man.
That's great.
You know, a great stepmom. I mean, her and Isaiah are like best friends, and like Christine and yours. I mean,
it's such a beautiful thing.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really impressive. You know, and look, it was not, you know, pretty getting there. You know, it was a lot of headaches. You know, it was a lot of doubts. You know, on both sides and everything. But you know, at the end of the day, kind of like you were saying before, you know, all the doubts and all the problems and the arguments and everything else, at the end of the day, boiled down to, okay, is whatever this little problem is, or even a big problem, is it worth dismantling this entire relationship over?
Or causing disruption in your household?
No,
it's not.
It's never. No. Look, if you find the right person, there is no problem too big. That's going to be worth dismantling your entire marriage or relationship or whatever. And coming from someone who's been married 3 times now. You know what I mean? It just wasn't the right person the first 2 times.
Yeah. And you didn't know who you were.
I still don't know. Didn't know? I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. I just quit my job. I don't have income right now. You know, like, I don't even know.
You may not know, but you're molding into who you're supposed to be. The mode is taking place. It's hardening, man.
And I think that's one of the big things that really triggered it. If I try to narrow it down a little bit, is just trying to be less of a hypocrite, in the sense of, if you ask anybody to their face and you say, what are your top 3 priorities? Most people will say like, oh, well, my family comes first, you know, or my kids, then my wife, or my wife, then my kids, or whatever those things in. And then they'll, you know, they may not even mention their career or their job until like number 5 or 6 or whatever. And they'll definitely never mention, you know, YouTube or my phone or Facebook or whatever. They'll never mention that. But then when you flip it around and you look at their actions and the actual time that they invest in everything, you'll find that the majority of their time is actually invested. Or, you know what, I won't even put hypothetically. I looked at myself.
I said,
okay, people say I'm a good dad. people say I'm a good husband. They say that I'm good at my job. They say I'm good at this, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I think I would like to think that my priorities are my family first and then, you know, all that way. But then I started looking at what are my actual time allotments?
Right.
They didn't look good. Didn't look good at all. It's a lot of time on my phone, a lot of time watching YouTube videos or on Twitter or whatever the hell.
Wow. Like,
you know,
hours? You thinking hours?
Hours.
Oh, wow.
Hours.
And we don't even think about that. You may be you are 110% correct. A lot of us, this is social media age, and it's causing disruption in homes.
And absolutely. I found myself having this kind of like a crisis of self, you know. Yeah. I emote to everyone else that I'm this person. Right. But I'm really not. I was putting on a face like many others do, and I seemed like a really good person, but I didn't feel it. And I thought, you know, I can probably change that by, I don't know, maybe actually being that person that I want people to think I am, or that I want myself to say, you know, like I'm lying to myself. Right. You know,
well, I second that a little bit, because I think that's you figuring out who you are inside, and you didn't like that part of you. Doesn't necessarily mean we got that part of you. You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
Okay. Take, for instance, Hurricane Michael, right? Remember, it came through and blew through our community like badly, right? Yeah. Some of us didn't have homes to go back to. Thank you.
5 years ago now?
Yeah.
Right? 18?
18? Yeah. Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay. It felt like yesterday.
Yeah.
And thank God for you again. You and Christine again. I got a place to stay. It was amazing because you guys lived on the beach, and we were expecting the beach to get hit, not town. So we weren't prepared for it. So I take that, and I had to leave. I left. Remember, I went to Jacksonville. I was out of town. I'm like, oh man, this storm's too big. And you came and checked on my house.
Yep.
So you may be battling with the small parts of you as you figure out who you want to be and who you are molding into. But who we get is genuine. It's heartfelt. It's honest. It's real. And I think at this point in life, we're all battling that. It's the over 30, right? And guys, you don't know who you are until you are close to that 30 mark. I'm going to tell you this now. I mean, I thought at 21, I knew everything. I thought at 16, I really knew everything.
You know, the 40-year-olds watching this thing, like, not until you're 40.
Yeah, I know. We say 30, and then it's going to say you will really know who you are at 40. And then about 50, you're going to have a little bit of a midlife crisis, and then you'll get it together at 60. But honestly, for me, in my opinion, and the group of people I hang out and surround myself with, right? So I'm very big on surrounding myself with fathers, active fathers. I'm very big on surrounding myself with husbands. So I don't have a lot of single friends. Right. And that was another notion. Even in my previous marriage, I hung out with married people. But my ex-wife was never there. It's weird, but I kept myself surrounded because I knew who I was and who I wanted to be and where I wanted to see myself grow. And I love being a husband, you know, and I love someone who loves me. So, Serena, I love you. So, but I say that to say, like, I'm figuring out more and more each day. I'm 35, you know. I look at life and I say, what is the ultimate goal for us? Like, what is it that we want to accomplish? What is it that I want to accomplish? And my main thing that kept coming back was my health, right? It wasn't material things. It wasn't things that you can go out and buy. It wasn't items that I can build. It was something I had to work on within myself. So yours is the distraction of social media, right? And sometimes little battle wars, right? Back and forth, you know, we all got those Twitter fingers.
I got 3 accounts banned on Twitter actively right now.
There you go. See, yeah, but you're a fact checker, right? So we all have those things. And mine was like, Larry, your health, man. I was a wrestler in high school. I was very active in college. I've been active in my career, very active. When I start coming home and I'm like, okay, I'm tired. And it's only 6, something's wrong. Yeah. Right. I'm like, I don't have any energy and I worked all day, but I ain't really go to work until like 9 o'clock. Disclaimer, 8 o'clock, but 9 o'clock, you know? And I felt down like, how am I so tired when I love what I do? Right. It's always been second natured. You know, I enjoy it. I love my family. Why am I tired? And I start figuring out I'm putting on this weight and I'm eating unhealthy. Alcohol. Okay. I'm not going to tell anyone what they should or shouldn't do. Please don't take that way.
Sure.
But I'm not an advocate for soda. I'm not an advocate for alcohol. And then it doesn't do anything but just impairs your judgment, right? You can't make wise decisions under the notion of alcohol. And so for me, I was like, let me try cutting that out, because I was having 1 glass of Jack a day. Mm-hmm. So
that adds up.
It adds up, man. You think putting it with a Diet Coke was going to make it better. It really does.
Yeah, okay. The lies we tell ourselves.
Yeah,
it's not so bad.
It's on the rocks with diet, But yeah, it was like, get yourself together, Larry. You're 35. 40's around the corner. Then we hit COVID and everybody started dying around 35 to 40 years old, And I'm like, oh my Lord. But I had to figure out, if I'm going to be the best version of me, I got to love the person in the skin I'm in. So being comfortable in uncomfortable situations, my health, my race, I am very, very, I grew up in a predominantly Caucasian environment. Mm-hmm. My kids are biracial. And yet I still used to feel uncomfortable in large situations, right? Mm. So like sitting in a conference room when everyone's 3 times my age and they all are a different color skin of mine, I felt very intimidated.
Right.
Like, oh my God, how did I get to sit at the table? And then I had to start loving myself and know that I am worth every bit of me, right?
Damn right.
So when I can sit there and I'm confident, like it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter what I look like, or it doesn't matter what I think someone thinks I look like. It's what I look like and how I feel. And I know my level of education I can present, my years of experience, I'm a great father. I raised 2 beautiful kids and a 3rd one on the way. I'm a dang good husband. So I started saying, you know what? I love myself. I'm going to write some daily affirmations on the mirror.
Oh,
right.
Nice.
You ever did that?
I've never done it for myself. I've written them on Christine's mirror for her.
Oh, okay.
When she was going through some things, whatever. I'm like, hey, we got to remind you that you are a badass, first of all.
Right. Right.
You're kicking ass in every different way. So I wrote some stuff for her. Yeah.
Nice. And yet you say you didn't like who you were portraying, but you are a great dad, man. That was one of the things that drawn me to you.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like the Christian idea of we strive to be as godly as possible, but we know we fail every day.
Right.
In the same, and I feel I can, even though I'm not a religious man.
Right.
There's so much truth to that. Like I can try. I'm not aiming at perfection by any means, but
none of us are perfect though. Yeah.
Not
if anyone comes to you and tell you they're perfect, I suggest you run the other way.
Yeah. But I really want to strive to be the best version of me that I can be, as many people give that advice.
Yeah.
And when I decided that that's what I want to do, that's when I started looking at all of the faults that I dislike about myself. And I say, okay, well, I got to do away with those things as much as I can. I still fail every day. I still, I still find myself on.
It's a work in progress. So.
But
you're not going to be perfect.
Better than yesterday is the best I can do.
There you go. I like that. And you were one of the motivators too, man, because you got a little heavy too. Sorry to oust you on your own podcast, man. But absolutely. And remember I kept seeing you. I'm like, every time I see you, man, you're getting more and more fit and in shape. You're looking good. And I said, okay, I can do this. But I mean, absolutely. And going back to you just saying you want to be the best version of yourself and what you can rid yourself of. And I think that's ultimately what we all want.
I hope so.
Yeah. And if not, they're not the people that should be in your circle. I mean, point blank and period. You never want to get with someone who's always, you say you're going to start a business. Yeah. Okay. Good luck with that. You know what I mean? You can't hear the negativity that's in there. But you also are a risk taker, and it's paid off every single time. I mean,
so far pretty good.
Yeah. No complaints yet, and knock on wood, and we are going to continue and bless you and cover you and make sure you continue to grow, man.
Thanks, man.
And I think again, this thing and this notion of you finding more who you are, the older you get, you'll learn more and more about yourself, and there's going to be things you want to change and things you want to do differently, and you got to follow that with a passion. So, same here. I'm 35 today. Before I blink, I'll be 45,
Yeah.
But I look at it, and one of the things too is, hey, we need a bigger home. But, me and my wife was like, I'm not selling my property. I'm not selling my property, So we're like, let's put them up as rental properties. Rent them, man. That is the market. It is booming
Especially right now. Yeah.
Yes, booming. So you get more money from the rental than you do for selling it. You may get a big chunk at one time.
Sure.
But so we ended up purchasing a 5-bedroom, 3-bath, beautiful home.
Nice.
Yeah, we're excited, man. In the midst of having a baby, I don't know what I was thinking.
Hey, I think was Christine pregnant when we bought this house? Yeah, I think, right? Was she already pregnant with Luca? I can't remember, but it was
you did the same thing.
Either right before or right after.
Yeah,
I'm so.
But
bad
we
with
sat
dates.
idle for so long. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And we wait till things get hectic and then we start moving, right? Sometimes you need that good...
Everything happens at once. Yep.
That little good kick to get you going.
Yep, need a bigger car, need a bigger house.
Right. Right. So then you're like, okay, I'm going to expand my family. I want to grow with my family. I want to develop with my family. We love to travel. We love to do things. We love to see you've seen the world. I've seen the U.S.
Hey.
I'm a big advocate. I love America.
Everyone should.
Yes.
I feel like that's one thing that so many Americans take for granted is that we live in this massive country that you can freely move about
wherever you want to go.
And it's different in every state you go.
It is.
Right? If you were in Europe, going from Florida to Texas would be like going from, I don't know, exact mileage, but it would be like going from Italy to, Spain.
Right.
It's totally different.
It's completely different.
So why not travel the country? We have a big, beautiful country that you can see.
We have an amazing country, man. And it's awesome. And it takes all of us to run it, for God's sakes.
We take it for granted, though,
We do. The luxury of turning on water, man. We can just pay a water bill and water turns on. If it don't turn on, we're on the phone with customer service. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on?
Yep.
And you got other countries that are starving that has to get water from a river, So America is one of the greatest places on earth, but we love to travel it. From New York to Boston to Chicago to Nashville to Atlanta. You see it, we're going to go. Denver, we want to go everywhere.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, what do I want out of life? I want my family. Mm-hmm. I want my family. I love my family.
Yeah.
They are my everything for me. And I used to be like really career driven. I'm still career driven. Let me not take that back, but it's not as dire hard anymore.
Yeah. It's just one notch down on your priority list.
It's one notch down on my priority. Right. Man, 5 o'clock come, I'm like, I'm out. I used to go home and work until like 8 or 9. That was horrible. I do not recommend. Definitely after you work 9-10 hours, you don't want to go home and do it. But I'm like, okay, what is it that I want out of life? And it's like, I want to see my wife deliver our baby. I want to grow our family. I want to make sure we have everything we need and just live life. Because tomorrow's not promised, So in the midst of us losing our daughter, our first daughter, her name was Faith, we also lost her grandma, right? So we lost my Faith in December, and then right at the end of December we lost her grandmother, and then January we ended up losing my grandmother, right? In the midst of all of this going on, we had to fly to Ohio, bury my grandmother. Right? We had to do all that, and then we had to come back, and then we found out she was pregnant in February. We're like, yes, God's given us a second chance. Then we lose again in May, and you're like, man, how much can we handle? Like, how much can we handle? How much can I handle?
Right.
Right. But I see the light is in the goal is that tomorrow's not promised. So you have to live for today. Right.
Exactly.
And you got to live it to the fullest. And you got to do things that make you happy. And then ultimately, if it makes you happy and you have a great partner in the process, sky's the limit.
I agree.
Sky's the limit, bro.
I agree. I've been trying to, on that same topic of the priorities, I've been trying to think about how we, as a nation, as a world, really, everywhere in the developed world, let's say, we just take everything for granted so much.
Right.
What do we need in life? You need food, water, shelter,
Right.
and a family.
in a family.
It is a part of it, right?
Right.
We are not solo creatures. You know, we're not lone wolves.
Right.
We have a biological need for human interaction.
Yes.
It's just the way it is. Right. You cannot remove that. Even the most, you know, secluded type people. Christine is a loner. She self-describes. She likes her time alone and everything like that. That has its limits.
Yeah.
There's a reason why one of the cruelest punishments we have, even in America's prison system, is solitary confinement.
Which is horrible, right?
It's torture.
It's torture. You start talking to yourself, thinking you're hearing yourself.
We saw that happen with COVID, right? Just people having to be 6 feet away from everybody, you know, and all of a sudden when people started getting more comfortable with like just giving hugs again or just like
it felt great,
people
man.
up and everything, you're like, oh my God. Oh yeah.
Bring it
contact.
in.
Oh my God.
Bring
like,
it.
Oh wow.
Bring it in.
Energy. It's
right.
It's almost like maybe that's what part of what it is that energy transfer. Like as soon as we shake hands or give ourselves a hug, it's like, oh, we're kind of syncing up our energy a little bit.
Vibe. Yeah.
Yes. And it feels good.
It does.
So food, water, shelter, human contact, right? Human interaction. Okay. So to me, everything that comes after that, it better provide me some really, really important benefit.
Right.
You know, it might sound ironic because I do drive a pretty nice car. Well, now I have a nice car and a beater. I got the Rust Bucket Tacoma.
Oh no, man, it's great for your family.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
No.
Yeah.
Don't be wrong. I love it.
Right.
I'm glad that I went with that. But what I was going to say, you know, like the type of car you drive, a lot of people focus a lot of the type of car they drive.
Which is terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah.
That is, listen, I see it every day, man. People spending hundreds and thousands of dollars on a car that's going to lose value the minute you drive it off the lot.
They're paying mortgage payments on a car.
This one guy came in, actually, side note, we had this guy who purchased this nice, what was it, a 2023 Trails something or Mountaineer.
Trailblazer?
It was it was nice. Mm-hmm. But it was a GMC, right? Or Chevy, one of those. Anyway, they're all under the same umbrella.
Yeah.
And his car payment was $1,600. $1,600. But here's the caveat: he was renting an apartment.
Okay,
paying $2,200, and had no clue.
And look, it's hard to pass judgment just on the numbers alone.
Yeah,
who knows? Maybe that's
I get a whole profile.
Well, I know you. Yeah.
I can't disclose that person, but yeah.
But you know, hey, maybe that works for someone's particular finances. But I would be curious to see how the rest of that person's life is in order. You know, like how much money are you spending on your health?
Right.
Right. That's one thing that I looked at. It's like, okay, I can spend a lot of money on a car or a bigger house with a bigger yard. Like I don't have a yard here. You know, that's the one downfall. Love my house. Don't get me wrong.
I love your house, by the way. You have
love the neighborhood and everything.
Yes.
But what I dislike is not having any space to ourselves. Right. Like land. I love the idea of having acres to be able to spread out a little bit. And
look, country in you. You can have this house on a bunch of land.
If I could pick
it up,
this house up and put it on like 50 acres.
Oh, you would be the happiest man in the world.
I wouldn't leave. But, I started looking at what am I spending my money on? And I realized, we're trying to save all our money on, everyone's grocery budget's always through the roof, right? Dining out budget's always through the roof. Okay, well, we got to save money. They're like, okay, but let's not just save money. Let's save money by eating in more.
Right.
And cooking for ourselves, but I'm not going to say spend, investing money in better food, better water.
Yes.
Right. All that type of stuff. So we ended up investing in a whole home water purification system with the, reverse osmosis under the sink. With
nice.
Remineralizing filter. So this water you're drinking here has actually been reverse osmosis and then added minerals back in. So it's like spring mineral water, kind of, not exactly. But there's like a UV light treatment on the water. And then also for the air, we got UV light and ozone for the air, especially because Massimo, my oldest son, was having terrible problems with allergies. And I'm thinking, okay, we're trying to save money here, save money there, invest money here. Well, health should be the number one priority.
Thing. Right.
So we spend a big chunk of change on getting all that set up so that at least here in our sanctuary of a home,
right,
we are as healthy as can be.
Oh, wow. I
built a cold plunge out of a freezer in the back.
Oh, wow. I love that.
Christina and I have been doing cold plunges.
Oh, man. Yeah, how's that going?
Cold. It burns the skin a little bit.
But you feel great when it's done, do you not?
Oh my God. It's incredible. It's euphoric.
Man. I'm gonna have to check it out one day.
Dude, absolutely. Anytime you want.
Yeah.
Anytime. I try to convince everybody to try it.
Yeah.
I tell them, it's going to suck. You're going to hate it. When you calm down your breathing and you relax, and when you get out, it's like having 5 shots of espresso.
Oh, wow.
And just being like a little bit high, a little bit
you're alert.
You're motivated.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God. It's great.
Oh, man.
The endorphin pump is, anyway, I've talked about it enough.
Yeah.
But
he really loves that, guys. He really loves it. So I'm gonna have to check it out.
It's crazy how well it works.
Yeah.
And it's so cheap. Like, and look, honestly, what I did is very cheap. I bought a new freezer. You don't have to buy a new freezer. You can get a used freezer, chest freezer, and then with like $50 worth of stuff on Amazon, you can make yourself a temperature controlled cold plunge. It's super easy to do. But even without, here it doesn't work so well because the cold water is not cold. But if you live anywhere where it's somewhat cold, take a cold shower.
Right.
And you'll have a very similar effect if it's cold enough.
Oh, wow.
And it's insane how much benefit you can get out of it. Like
so Christine's not a hot shower girl. You know, my wife loves a hot shower. I burn when I get in.
Oh yeah. Oh, she will. Yeah. If I get in with her, it's like scalding hot. Yeah.
Why is that, ladies? Sorry, we don't have the ladies here, but I'll make sure you ask that on your next one. If you do Christine, I mean, why is it that y'all turn it on?
I don't know, but she's been doing the cold plunges too. She just did one yesterday,
loves it.
Actually. Yeah. She finds herself a song that's as long as she wants to be in there.
Okay.
She'll get in there, press play, and just breathe it out until the song is done and get out. And she got out and she came in, she dried herself off, she started doing the dishes and started cleaning up and everything.
Energy.
Oh my God. Yeah. It was great.
Wow.
And I feel the same way. And I've been dabbling with before and after cardio and stuff like that.
Okay.
For different benefits. But anyway.
But just more careful of what you guys put in your body.
Yes.
It's so important.
Yeah, to tie it back in. Looking at we wanted to reframe the way we looked at spending / investing and how we need to invest time and invest money into ourselves and our health. So we try buying as much as we can, organic, as close to, just raw ingredients as possible. We can't literally make everything from raw ingredients.
Right.
But, doing our best to use as limited, canned goods and anything else, anything with preservatives, stuff like that. And like you were saying before, no soda, as little sugar as possible.
I'll probably drink it now and probably throw up because it's like syrupy. Yeah. Well, it's crazy you say that. I got a little confession. So I was prior to my new wonderful life that I enjoy, I was the father who was always on the go. Mm-hmm. I'm always on the go. Actually, I was on the go so much, I was late to every event I went to, right? Because I always double booked my events terribly. I had no inkling of scheduling, right? Mm-hmm. We operate off of a calendar now. But so we were always on the go. So I accidentally, unknowingly, made my son pay the price. Like bad. So my wife and I had to reel it back because what's Chick-fil-A? What's McDonald's? What's Taco Bell? What's Outback? What's Moe's, Applebee's? Those are places. Oh, we'll get something on the go. And I never thought about it.
Quick and easy.
So about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, it's funny because when I got my wife, she was like, "You guys eat out a lot." I was like, "Really?" She was like, "Yeah." So she started cooking. That's the reason I had that whole weight gain. Ooh. But it was good. But we had to watch how we cooked. Right. So she said, "You guys eat out a lot." I'm like, "Yeah." So then she would cook dinner, and I'm like, "Isaiah, let's sit down and eat." He'd be like, "No, I'm not hungry." I was like, what? This is a home cooked meal, you know?
Yeah.
A lot of men, we die for a home cooked meal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. This is a privilege right here.
Yes. And he was like, oh, no, Dad, I don't want it. And I'm like, why? Okay, maybe he just doesn't like her cooking. So I let it go. Okay, no problem. I'll just go pick you up something, right? Bad parenting move, big time. Dad fell. And of course, I didn't have time to cook before because let me take that back. I had time. It wasn't a priority.
Right.
Okay.
You didn't make the time.
I didn't make the time. I'm not going to say that I didn't have time. I really didn't make my son's health a main priority because I was putting garbage into his body.
Right.
And then he became where he's now going on 10 years old and he'd rather have fast food than a home cooked meal. So we reversed that. So we're very big on fast food, period. So we won't go out and eat fast food. Good. And then we're very cautious because he got willpower. One thing about my son, he's super smart and his willpower is strong. So he'll say, I'm not hungry. I'm like, well, then you're not eating dinner.
Fine.
So in the morning he wakes up, he says, can we get Chick-fil-A? I'm like, no. I'm just going to starve at school. Well, that's between you and your teachers now. And then he comes home and now he eats what we cook, you know? So now he's like, I'm starving. Great. Taco Tuesday at the house, you know? Ooh. Grilled chicken at the house. I want that
invite.
Yes. You know, it's literally, we're going to eat at home. And the goal is, now I'm not going to say we don't eat fast food sometimes because he's in travel ball, we're on the go, but it's a lot less, and I have reduced that probably by like 85% now. That's
great.
So we're only eating out maybe 15%, and it's normally when I got a hotel in Dothan, you can't really cook. You got to get something. It's tough. It's very tough. But I noticed your kids, they were eating full meals at like 6 months, man, and I'm like, hold on, you know? Whoa, what are you doing over here, Larry? You know?
Yeah, I think it just comes down to it's the limitation on options. You know what I mean? If they don't know any different,
they don't. Right.
Then this is what they have.
But I know better, you know?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I went through that problem with, with my stepdaughter from my last marriage, you know, when I first, was involved in her life, you know, her mother was always also very busy, you know, single mom lifestyle, working her ass off all the time, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, it was a lot of, you know, frozen microwaved food or, you know,
processed meals.
Yeah. Fast food or whatever. And then, you know, when we got married, you know, we had a discussion, we came to an agreement. You know, I said, hey, I can be her stepdad or I can be her dad. Right. You choose. I'll be either. You let me know.
Right. I want to know what's my level. Where can I, what's my cutoff?
We had this long conversation and she agreed. She's like, no, I'd prefer if you were more just like her dad, you know?
Okay.
And I took it on. I was like, okay, but I'm going to treat her like my daughter. She's having too many chicken nuggets and mac and cheese and, you know, microwave corn dogs and pizza. And that's it. That was like her whole diet was that stuff. I was like, we got to change this up.
Right.
So same thing. I would cook something and, you know, she was young, man. She was like 4 or 5 at the time. And, you know, I made something. I don't remember what the meal was. Yeah. But it was something, you know, not like spicy or whatever. Right. It's a regular meal of some kind.
If a kid tell you it's spicy and it's not, they don't want it. But you sit them at that table.
But you know, I sat her down with it. I said, well, this is what's for dinner. You know, you don't have to eat if you don't want to, but that's the only option. Right. And then she didn't eat. Breakfast came around the next day. Oh, we have leftovers from last night.
Oh, wonderful. I love that.
She didn't want to eat it. Okay. Stubborn. Hungry, didn't want to eat it. Okay, fine. Go ahead. Right. Lunch. Hey, guess what? We got leftovers from last night.
Now you're starving.
And you know,
it progressed over.
My ex-wife, you know, she took me to the side like, hey, she's got to eat. I was like, if you think that a human being is going to starve themselves when presented with food, it's not happening. Right. She's not dying. She's not going to get sick. Nothing bad's going to happen. She's going to have some hunger pains. Yeah. Yeah. And it's going to teach her. And by, you know, dinner that second night, ate it with gusto, just swallowed it up whole. Yeah.
1 in seconds, didn't she?
Not a problem. And afterwards, she's like, oh, that's actually very good. I'm like, yeah, it is good. Yes. It's real food, you know? And sure enough, that was it. And then from there, it became, you know, she didn't even have a burger until we moved to San Diego. And then I remember because her first burger she ever had was actually an In-N-Out burger.
Oh, wow.
Which, not the healthiest. But
but it's something everybody says they want to go to. I haven't had it yet. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, you will.
Eventually. Yeah, I'm sure.
But it was one of those things where at the very least, she was at this point willing to try different things.
Okay.
You
opened up her taste buds.
Exactly.
I love it. See, that's where we're in the battle with Isaiah right now.
Yeah.
You'll get there. Taste buds.
You'll get there. Yeah.
If you call everything chicken. I mean, that's the trick. Yeah. I mean, it's chicken. And it don't look like chicken. It's a different type of chicken.
This chicken is really dark.
Right. It's steak. It's steak. Yeah. So, but no, man, I think this navigation of being a parent and trying to figure it out, there's not a right or wrong way. Let me rephrase that. There's not the perfect way to be a parent.
Right.
It's trial and error, right?
Yeah.
My daughter's going to be 16 this year and I love her to death. And one of the things with my daughter is like, you got to take that. You're good.
Give me 1 second. We'll pause.
Okay. Pause. But like I was saying,
where were we at?
Sorry to take it back.
No, that's my fault.
I was just saying there's not a right or wrong way to be a parent. And I think this notion that we all are going to get it perfect every single time, we're not, because none of us are perfect. And it comes with trial and error, but you get better each and every time.
Right.
So when it comes to parenting, you've got the most of our friendship group, right? Because you have 4 and you've been through it. And actually, you went through a lot of life experiences we were able to lean on as we were going through them, the divorces, my divorce was a nightmare, they don't marry an unsaved person. I made that mistake. But yeah, that divorce, mine took 3 years?
Yeah.
That was horrible.
And that's not even the longest that they can last.
No,
you hear these horror stories of 5, 10 years.
Yeah, married in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Divorced in 14 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was going to say, my daughter, love her dearly. And I mean, this navigation of being a parent is tough right now because, me and her mom is not together anymore. She's at the teenage phase. And then, for her, she was, I adopted her, So I had to form that connection young and then during the midst of divorce, and divorces are ugly. And this is why I tell you guys, make sure you're careful who you marry because it affects everyone around you. And so in the midst of that, she was told that I wasn't biologically her father without my presence, right? That broke me.
That, yeah.
Oh, that broke me, man. That broke me. And so now it's like, we're good. But it's this notion I'm kind of going with my mom because you're not really like my biological father. And so it's like me still being.
Could you feel that? Could you feel that tension from her?
It's not really tension. It's this notion. Mommy's right. Mom's right. Mom's right.
Yeah.
And I can't. And she's a girl. I'm a guy. I'm a dad. I'm a boy. So it's. And her mom's doing a great job of encouraging her now. We got a great relationship now, which is wonderful.
That's good.
Going through a divorce, not so much, but now it's wonderful, and she encourages it. But it may be more in my head than hers. It could be that she is 16, and y'all know 16-year-olds are a little all over the place right now. Just found out yesterday she had a whole boyfriend, man.
Oh man!
Right, that part. Fatherhood. I'm still learning. So my kids may be older.
So scared of that moment.
Oh. As long as they're open and honest, because it's the point when you find out things through other people.
Right.
Oh, I don't like that. It rubs me every time, and I have to be careful, because I'm like, I don't want to push her away, but I want to checkmate her and let her know while you're out here playing checkers, I'm playing chess. So you got to be smarter, protect your king. And so I say that to say that's the hard part. So I always have to have these conversations listen, don't hide it from me. I'm going to find out. I grew up in this city, for God's sake. So
yeah,
I'm going to find out. Someone's going to take a picture. They're going to snap a photo. They're going to call me. They seen you. You can't really go anywhere without your dad knowing kind of what you're doing. Well, I didn't think about it. And now I have to go, okay, this is the teenager in her. Because she still does this daddy, this little daddy, she's 2 again. And so it's that navigating of that parent, and it's she's not in my household full time,
right?
So I have to I want her there. I love her. I love having her. Want her there and close. And then when she's in these moods where I don't hear from her, I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? Nothing. Okay, something's wrong with you because I don't hear from you. Now I'm just like, okay, you're a teenager and you're going through this adolescence where you're trying to hide everything. So I just got to make sure I try to stay 5 steps ahead.
Sure.
So, but you know, being a parent isn't easy, and you know this. I mean,
yeah,
you make it look easy, but. You know, remember I told you when you came to the bank with your kids, and I was like, man,
oh yeah,
they were the only kids to ever come to my office that did not destroy it. They were so well mannered, well behaved,
and without an iPad.
Without an iPad, there was no iPad. They were completely okay, and I'm like, oh man, okay,
yeah,
all right.
I think that falls into the same category as like with the food.
Okay,
because we just never broke ground on that type of avenue for them, that outlet for them.
Right.
They had tablets for a little while, but we were always very cautious to really limit how much time and like what they were really doing on it and stuff like
right.
that. And making sure that it was the smallest percentage of their time rather than the most. And I think because of that, like they love play. Like they have a Switch upstairs. They play all the time, whatever. There's a time limit on there, but number one, they appreciate it more, and they don't have that like strong pull towards it so much. You know, they prefer to play outside. Like when it's getting chaotic in the house, and I just look at them like, hey, go outside. Like take your brother and sister with you.
And go outside.
Go outside. And fortunately, I'm in a neighborhood that I can feel
right. I was about to say, does it make you feel better in this neighborhood?
Oh
so this is another reason we're buying because it's a community kind of like yours. So there's tons of kids. Was it difficult in your old home where you didn't have kids in the neighborhood?
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah.
Mostly because it was a through street between 2 major roads.
Right.
And people would always cut between them and just zoom down. There was a couple speed bumps, but nobody gives a damn about speed bumps. I could never feel safe about my kid riding a bike out there. No way. Right. Over here, go
have fun. Go. And then you got the park right out front.
Yes,
so.
yeah. But look, come home when it's dark.
Yeah. Oh, that's what our parents used to tell us. Do you find yourself turning into your parent?
Yes, and that's just the thing is I that's another piece of advice that I really try to take to heart is who was it? I forget. It was a famous actor or whatever said it in an interview talking about how, you know, we try so hard to give our kids what we never had that we forget to give them what we did have. You know, and part
that
of my
steady foundation.
One of my happiest, not a moment, but one of the best parts of my childhood was hopping on my bike and riding through the neighborhood, going, hey, can Johnny come out and play?
We didn't even know what a cell phone was, man.
Cell phone what? Call the landline. Oh, it's busy because my mom's on the phone.
Right,
you know, whatever.
Right.
You know, okay, we'll just show up and knock on the door.
You knew where you were by the bikes in the front yard,
we
right?
had a house that boarded up against some woods. Man, when I tell you, we would just disappear. Me and 2 of my friends would just disappear in those woods, just walking around playing with sticks.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
and it was the safest thing in the world, right? Dangerous, but
no, it wasn't.
Oh, it wasn't safe?
It wasn't.
Oh, okay.
It was dangerous as hell, but we survived. It was fine. We matured because of it.
We almost died, but we survived.
Okay. No shit. I almost died one time. It was the middle of winter, and in the back, you know, through the woods, you know, maybe at least a mile back deep into the woods, there was a big lake and it was frozen over. We thought frozen solid. I was the largest of the 3 kids that were out there. So I said, well, we wanted to walk on the ice. So I was like, hey, I'll go first. Because if it doesn't break with me, it won't break with you. Right. A little bit of logic, you know.
Okay.
I was young.
Yeah.
You know.
Again, you don't know what you know until you're over that 30. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, if I had known to like take a stick and like tap the ice
it first.
No,
jump right in.
So I'm walking out on this ice, frozen over, and all of a sudden it starts to crack. And I'm like, oh crap. I look back, I was like, it's cracking. So they panic and they run backwards. And I'm like, okay. I take a couple steps back and all of a sudden it just breaks out. I go all the way in, head in all the way.
Wow.
and I'm up and I'm in just a regular, like not a winter jacket. Not that it would have helped or anything, but I'm just in like regular winter clothes and I'm soaked head to toe. Can't climb out. Every time I go to reach for the ice, it breaks as I go to grab it.
Oh, wow.
And I'm calling out to my friends and they're scared out of their mind.
Right.
They don't want to fall in either.
Yeah, like I want to save them.
Throw me something, give me something.
Right.
And they're just gone. You know, they're just watching me from like from the bank, you know, and they're just like, sorry, you know, and eventually, I mean, I don't know how long I was actually in the water. It was probably a solid minute, you know, but again, I was like, I don't know, 10.
Wow.
I was probably the Massimo's age,
could
right?
you imagine if your parents seen this? They would have.
Lost their mind. My dad would have jumped in because he's a maniac, you know, and a great father. But
right.
But anyway, eventually I got to a part that was thick enough for me to climb out. I climbed myself out. We all walked back together, but we were out in the woods by ourselves.
And it made
my parents weren't home.
Did they know you were in the woods?
And I locked myself out.
Did they know you were in the woods?
No. And I locked myself out of the house.
Soaking wet?
So I'm soaking wet. It's freezing outside. There's snow on the ground, you know, and I'm soaked wet. And
wow.
I went to the shed. We had a shed right, that I could get into. And I found one of those claw tools, whatever, for gardening, right? Gardening tool with like the 3 hooks or whatever on there. And I just went to town on the screen of our bathroom window because I knew that one was unlocked because it was open for the bathroom. And then I got a boost, opened the window, fell into the tub, and then unlocked the door for my friends and everything. And then I got, you know, I stripped down and got into, you know, warm clothes. But I survived.
Oh, wow.
You know,
we don't want our kids to have that memory, but we do want them to have memories that shows adventures and doing things that learn lessons.
But could you imagine?
You probably never walk back on ice again like
that.
No,
no, hell no.
You were like,
ice skating, but you know.
Yeah, and you probably tapped it with that skate.
But imagine right now, would you trust Isaiah right now to go disappear in the woods all day in the middle of winter?
No, never.
Neither would I. Yeah. I wouldn't do that with my kids. Yeah. I wouldn't allow that. But then I think to myself, why?
Yeah.
And
the world is so crazy right now. I think, and it's not that.
But I don't think it is. I don't think it really is.
You don't think so?
I think it's safer today than it was when we were kids. No. I think that we just see. No, I think that we just see
really
the danger more because of social media and
you're saying it's brought to life more because of that.
We think it's more present because we see more of it.
Okay.
I think. I don't know.
Okay.
I'd have to look at statistics to really like.
Well, obviously, because we didn't get that information at our fingertips before, so we didn't know that Betty Sue's husband was driving around in a white van.
Alerts popping off on our phones every day?
No, you're right.
You know, we remember the ad on every news channel, or not even news channel, on like ABC and Fox, whatever. It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
Yes.
That was it. That's all we had because we literally, our parents were so like nonchalant about where we were that we're like, hey, we haven't seen our kids at 10.
They made us go outside and play, which I love. So this neighborhood we're moving in got tons of kids, right?
Good.
Oh, I'm so excited because I want that notion. We were talking yesterday and I said, I gotta get my bike fixed because I'm gonna ride around the neighborhood with you, you know? He was like, I'm just so excited to meet so many kids. Well, when we bought the house I'm in now, my house now, we had a neighbor who had kids. So it worked out great.
Yeah.
But then they moved. That's the worst.
Yep.
And so I got a community full of old people, you know, they walk around with their dogs. But there's not much to do once you get home. So then I become the kid to play with him on kid things. But I'm a parent, so I'm protective. Okay, let's not use that baseball with that baseball bat. But if my friends were outside, who's going to stop me, bro? You know? Then I got to get my butt whooped, and now I know discipline of what I should and shouldn't do. So I love that, and I commend that because you are in a community where you are able to send them outside. You can see them from the front door, you know? So you got a little bit of security with that. And I recommend anyone buying a home to buy it inside of a neighborhood if you have children.
If it's possible,
If it's possible. If you have children, absolutely. I'm all about it. It'd be a lifesaver.
Want them,
Or if you want them. But if you're one of those old, you know, those people who don't want kids, you know, kudos to you. You can have Nick in my old house. Fit right into that neighborhood, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, but that's the notion. I guess social media has driven this notion where everything's like I'm a world news watcher, right? I'm bad. My dad was a news watcher. My grandfather was a news watcher, and my great grandfather was a news watcher. And I find myself turning into a news watcher. So what I did notice though is every time it comes on, So every time it comes on, and the first thing it says is, just in breaking. We have everything's breaking, and you're like, okay, it really isn't. You could have just told that without it.
Yeah.
But I do love the part where I get to fall asleep a little bit. And
Yeah.
Well, man, this was a great relief. I enjoyed this.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming. This
absolutely
is so much fun.
Anytime we can sit and talk.
That's what I think is the best part of this.
Yeah.
Is, hopefully this grows into something meaningful that can, maybe people can learn something from, or just take something away from. That's my ultimate goal, is just if I can just
touch people out there
a little bit.
Yeah.
And just make a little bit of a difference, just help people find their way a little bit. I find myself, I feel that my real passion is learning and teaching.
Yeah. Okay.
I love it in any way that I can absorb it. I
Right.
love to learn,
Right.
and I love to just kind of teach what I've learned.
Yeah.
But aside from that, it's the best excuse to just sit down one-on-one with a friend
And just have some good conversation.
in the way that otherwise only happens so rarely.
Right.
Because when do we hang out? We hang out.
It's
when
been
we
a
have,
little bit.
But when do we hang out one-on-one?
Oh, yeah. We
Hardly
haven't-
ever.
Right.
If ever, honestly. Like
Right.
just you and me
Sitting
without
down.
the wives or without other friends or whatever. Hey, man, what's going on in Larry's life?
Oh, man. I love it.
So if anything, if this crashes and burns and gets nowhere, I'll still have at least these wonderful memories of just these great conversations with some friends that I care about.
Yeah.
And that to me is worth every bit of this sacrifice.
Oh, man. I will say this, man. I love this because it does give me an outlet you're right, to just have some good one-on-one conversation. I think the last time is during Michael when I was in your house.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, outside of a big group of people, that might have been the last time, and it's because we were under the same roof for a period of time.
Yep.
And so that has created, though, I will say what I love about our friendship group. It's like a brotherhood, man.
It really is.
Oh, I love our brotherhood.
Yeah.
Right? Like we're all busy in our own lives. And see, we're at the age now where no one's offended if you don't hear from someone for a little bit.
Yeah.
You just pick up right where you left off at.
I'm so happy about that.
Yes.
Because I always feel so guilty.
Oh, no.
I feel like the worst friend ever. I haven't talked to Larry in forever.
Oh.
Let me invite him on the podcast.
No. Because to me, it's like it just picks up.
Yeah.
I know your heart, man. And I know you're busy.
Yeah.
You're busy. You have a family. You're busy. Jacob's busy. Eddie's busy. We're all going to go out and show out for Eddie.
May
yeah. 6th, so, yeah.
I'm having him on after his show, the Monday after.
Oh, perfect.
I want to talk to him about the whole journey, man.
Yeah, that's going to be amazing. I'm going to have to, you guys tune in for that, by the way. It's going to be great. Eddie's wonderful. But we have this brotherhood. And then I love our Friendsgiving that we do every year.
Yes.
Oh, my. I look forward to it every year, and it grows, and it's so funny now because it's growing with kids. Right.
Yeah.
First it started out with just all of us, and we
like
got
double
some
the
of us.
size now.
Yeah, it's like double announced to kids. But to find good friends with great values, it's very hard in today's society because of social media, right?
Oh yeah.
And so to take a step back, because generally when we all get together, we're not really on our phones because we're all deep in conversation.
Yep.
So to be able to sit down and do one-on-one, it's truly amazing. And what you're accomplishing and what you're doing and what you're setting out to do, you got our full support. You got my full support, the Bailey household, I should say.
I appreciate it.
I mean, right behind you. And it's crazy because I told Serena, I said, babe, and it's before me and you had the food out at the West End.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, before that, I said, babe, I want to do a love and marriage podcast, right?
Oh,
and I was like, just to get in there and talk with married couples. Mm-hmm. And she was like, is it because you're surrounded by all married people? And I was like, yeah, and I love every bit of it.
Yeah.
We all operate differently, but it flows so well. Mm-hmm. And I said, yeah, I want to do that. And so to come in and see you have this and to see all of this is amazing, man. I mean, you are going to exceed in ways you never thought was possible.
I hope so.
Man, and I don't want to start speaking into tongues and all that, but you are going to prosper in ways that you don't even know, and you're going to have some hiccups along the way, but it's only going to teach you lessons, but the outcome's going to be magnificent.
Thank you so much.
To say the least. So
I appreciate
this has
that.
been wonderful.
Thank you.
I've enjoyed
And on that note,
yes,
that I guess we'll wrap it up. Thank you so much, Larry.
Hey, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. My brother.